this edition of the Moss HR Minute, where we help business owners care for excellent teams, one Moss Minute at a time. I'm Nicole Moss, and at Moss Consulting, we act as the outsourced HR department for growing businesses, fractional HR, payroll, benefits, recruiting, compliance, and doing all of that gives owners the entire experience of a full HR team that they can lean on and only pay for what they need. Today's guest, and I'm so excited, is someone who has built her career at the intersection of many things: operations, process architecture, and performance. And she's doing it in one of the most fast-moving, high-stakes environment that you could imagine. Michele Spiezia is the general manager of Ellysium Racing, where she describes her role as managing the universe. And honestly, after learning more about what she does, that's really in no way an overstatement at all.
Fair.
She has now launched a channel to share what she's learned about the process of architecture. About process architecture and what it actually takes to build systems that hold up under an incredible amount of pressure. Michele, welcome to the Moss HR Minute.
Thank you. Awesome to be here.
I can't wait to talk about your universe.
My universe is expanding greatly by leaps and bounds by the minute. So
well,
yes.
And that's what the universe does. So
Yes.
Let's talk about it. So when you say process architect, like, what does that even mean? Like, paint me a picture of what you're building and why it matters.
Yeah. So, I mean, my byline has always been process architect and people person, human questioning everything. The process architect part is something that I think I realized or recognized about myself and maybe within the past decade, right? And been like, oh, I've been doing this thing no matter what context I've focused in or worked in.
Yep.
And I've definitely had like a career smattering, right? I mean, poet, filmmaker, tech startup founder, sommelier, restaurant manager, Minnie Mouse at Disney World.
No way.
Montessori teacher, now team principal and education director for a motorsport team. Like, so I've worked in all of these different contexts and I've realized that it's probably part A-type, over management and control freak.
Yeah.
But part like enjoyment of creating order out of chaos.
Yeah.
Process architect meaning taking a whole bunch of everything and like sifting and sorting and reducing and compiling to make systems and efficiencies out of where there were none before. So,
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, when I was 18 years old in New York City, I was working in one of the biggest restaurant companies in New York City. They owned 7 restaurants in New York.
Okay.
And at 18, it was my job to go into the new stores, into an absolutely empty building. They'd put me in an office with like back then a bunch of binders and Post-it notes. And they're like, make the thing. So like every system that needed to be made, I had to figure out how to do it. So it's definitely some type of part compulsion. An anxiety reducer for me to go through that process. But it's something that I'm really good at doing.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I just apply it everywhere.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Amazing. And to learn that at 18, like no pressure.
Yeah, no big deal.
No biggie. You'll figure it out. So how do you think about hiring and keeping people who can operate kind of at a high level? Tell me about your people strategy.
Yeah. I mean, you probably know just as well as I do that managing the people part is the most challenging.
Yeah.
It's the messiest. It's the most unpredictable. And I think like post-COVID, I think to everyone's benefit, we are more open maybe and transparent about our own personal challenges, situations, restrictions. We're more willing, right, to talk about those things. And we're also more willing to be like, well, I have to fit in the dentist appointment. So when am I supposed to do that? Right.
Right.
So I think that is to our benefit. And we've become more flexible in our workplaces with the people part.
Yeah.
I definitely think there are some thresholds or some boundaries maybe that we've over pendulumed towards.
Yeah.
But my approach has always been human first, right? Like, I don't care if you are the janitor or the CEO, like you're a human being and we all treat each other with respect and we're collaborating and it doesn't matter what our role is. And we all come with baggage and stuff that is outside of the walls of wherever we're working.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the people stuff, you can't beat human to human. It's why I love being a teacher. It's why I love middle schoolers are kind of my jam because they're like this like amorphous, they're like half-baked humans, right? Like which is what's beautiful about them. It's like when you bake a cake and like it's still kind of soft in the middle and you're like, oh, but I want to eat it now because it's gooey. Yeah. They're in a beautiful.
Those are middle schoolers.
Those are middle schoolers. Okay. Yeah, they're in this like beautiful stage.
Yeah.
And so I think the more we can hold on to that throughout, as adults, and the more as adults we can recognize it in young people and appreciate that about them. Yeah, I think that kind of gets to the heart of my like human first philosophy.
I love that. I think we're in the business of people, and it's an interest, and I'm really excited to talk to you about this because like it's really interesting to bring in because COVID changed a lot. COVID, like even just from like full blown adults of like creating boundaries, we've realized we can work from home. We realized that like adults, some do, but most adults don't need as much like micromanagement. Sure. They can, so some people do, and that's fine. Everyone's so different. I do believe every single person is a very cool journey. And if like you can slow down to learn it, you find like the gooey part in them and like reignite that sometimes. Yeah. What's been really fascinating is these, and I feel old saying this, but like these kids that are starting to work. Yeah. And it is a different game. Like it is
100%.
It's wild.
50%.
Like they're not, most young people coming out of college, I don't believe are ready for the work world. It's like crazy. Yeah. And I don't think that's it's of course.
Don't blame the lettuce, I say. Don't blame the lettuce, right? There's soil, there's sunlight, there's water. You can't blame the lettuce like for how it comes up out of the ground. Yeah. Yes, there's personal agency and responsibility, but there are environmental conditions that created the outcome. Yep. Yeah. So, right. They are not being well prepared. No. Most of the adults are like, everything is changing so quickly. Correct. So this like learning how to learn part and the quick decision-making part to me is like the key skill. It is. Yeah. Critical thinking is at an all-time low. Yeah. Like just not to be not to be rude, but it's just kind of wild. Like it is. Yeah. But to your point, like even for people that have been like in the work world, like full blown adults, like because I think things are changing so fast and we have access to like ChatGPT and Claude and all of these AI agents. Information overloaded. It should be helping. And instead it's just all noise and no signal. And we're like fried. Yeah. Yeah. So what are you focusing on the education piece to like help with this? Yeah. So like, tell us a little bit about that. So I want to talk about hyper-personalization. Okay. Like I'm going to get that thought out because I'm perimenopausal and I will lose it if I don't say it right now. Okay. So in thinking about what you were just saying about COVID changing things, I think it's what I'm seeing, and I'm seeing it with, I say young people, I'm seeing it with lots of different ages of young people. We're in this age of hyper-personalization, right? Where you can have anything, whether it's an ad or a pair of jeans or your coffee, like served up to you. Industrialization is going away, right? Yeah. This kind of mass quantity. Yep. And I think there's so many advantages to that. But again, there's also a threshold or a limit where it becomes like diminishing return. Yeah. So like I'm seeing a lot of young people that I'm working with and teaching where don't design for the average. I agree with that. But then it's so hyper-personalized that we forget that we are part of a community. Yes. And we have to work with others. And we need to want to work with others to do great things. Yeah. And I'm seeing certain populations of young humans who are being taught by their families and or the educational environments they're in that they're the only ones that matter and whatever they want, they can have. Like now. Immediately. Yeah. Yeah. Like the whole marshmallow test thing, like delayed gratification. What is that? Oh, there's this like classic psychological evaluation where they put a kid in a room with a marshmallow on the table. And they say to the kid, if you eat the marshmallow now, you won't get another marshmallow. If you sit here and keep this marshmallow, I'll bring you another one shortly. And then the psychologist leaves the room. And it's all about this study about which kids can like have delayed gratification and sit there and watch the marshmallow and wait. I'm sure today that's like totally inappropriate. You can't put a piece of food in front of a child. He's like, don't eat it. But I think the concept of being able to like do an act now in an uncertain future or an uncertain result is like a key task. Yeah. So anyway, over-personalization, I think there's a diminishing return at some point that we're going to have to dial back on. Yeah. And remember that we have to collaborate and work with others.
Totally.
Yeah.
And processes that we're building at work, like involve multiple people to collaborate and to think outside of themselves and to think about the team and the goal as a whole. So like, if we're talking about processes and people, like when a process fails, and consequences can be immediate or invisible or later or what have you, like depending where in the process the fail is. So like, what do you think the hardest lesson you've learned about building systems specifically with people, but that hold up as things get faster and more stressful?
Yeah. I think when you're working inside a classroom, it can be similar to being inside a business, right? I think it's all about assessment. Like I'm big on assessment and self-assessment and then peer assessment and then collaborative assessment. So the more there is feedback and we teach people how to give feedback
and receive.
Yes. I have this whole lesson on like platitudes versus, constructive feedback and like how to not attack a person. I mean, you know all of this, right? Like, how do you provide feedback to both the process and the people in it on a regular basis and just get in the habit of doing that and constantly refine, right? Like, it's like little tweaks.
Yeah.
Rather than, sometimes the whole system just goes to shit. And you're like, well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Let's try to build the tower again. Like, how are we going to do it differently? And to have the like energy and fortitude to be like, we can do this again. We can do hard things.
Yeah.
So to the education point, our whole focus, Ellysium Education, is like our Ellysium EDU is our kind of brand new piece within the ecosystem.
Cool. Yeah.
It's creating the future without fear. And it's positive tech-focused approaches to the world's biggest challenges. Like, we're going to solve these problems and we're going to do them together. And it's about curiosity and critical thinking and a willingness to learn how to learn. Because, so 10 years ago, I was in the classroom and I was teaching middle schoolers and everybody wanted their kid to be a software engineer. Got to teach the kids how to code. All the kids need to code. I remember
that was the thing.
And I was like, Lord, I said, the kids don't need to learn how to code. The first thing the robots are going to do when they figure it out is manage the ones and zeros, right?
Yep.
We need to teach the kids the logic underneath how coding works, the thinking behind it. That was my opinion. And I feel today it's a reboot with AI and STEM skills. Everyone's like, got to teach the kids STEM. Okay, yes, STEM skills are great. Okay, yes, like upskilling is great. But the skills are changing so quickly that by the time you teach the kid to be a plumber, there's going to be a new wrench or a new pipe or a new software system. So like you have to teach the kids to learn how to learn the things.
Yep.
So that's for us, like that is the core.
Yeah.
And Ellis is doing that on the racetrack every single day. So we use that as the context to show people this is how you can do this and not be terrified in the meantime.
Well, it is really scary to learn new things.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. And especially is like, it's just so fascinating to watch like college grads come into the work world or interns. We're doing our first internship this summer, which has been amazing.
Yeah.
And we have it's so fun to like watch the untainted like joy in people. And I might sound a little bit like a cynic saying that, but the world is, life is hard. The world is hard. The work world is hard. Like, and we learn, and I don't know that we become naturally more cynical, but like, you lose the wonder a little bit
for sure. As the shine wears off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But when you're learning something new, and they're learning something new coming into the work world, but it is really wild with like in the last 2 or 3 years with ChatGPT and Claude, and they're getting better, and it's like the need for critical thinking is not there anymore because it's at your fingertips. Like, you can have pretty much any answer you need, but we're seeing things break down in like how businesses are working and how like processes are moving because people aren't like, they're not thinking tomorrow or like 3 weeks from now. They're like, oh, I just need to get through the day or get through this. And to your point is it's like even young people, but I think older people are also in this kind of like, what did you call it? Hyperfixation or
hyper-personalization.
Yeah. Where like we wanted coffee this morning. We texted you.
Literally opened the door.
It was like, it was on the ground. Yeah. And within like, minutes. From the time I texted you to when that got there, it might've been 15 minutes.
Maybe,
we had hot and cold coffee delivered to the door. Like, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
And I think that people I think we trust people less, not out of like, you just don't need them. It doesn't, but we do, but that's the opposite because we really do need people.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, right? It's like, See, I just had a thought and it went away. It's gone. But it's this concept of like, can we versus should we?
Yes.
The huge question for me in classrooms with young people and adults, like, can we versus should we?
Yeah.
And what is the application of the technology that's actually going to be beneficial? Right? Yes, having the coffee show up at the door is efficient and useful, but we're losing the human element.
Like, good morning, how are you? What's your order? Like, just the communication piece.
Exactly.
It's huge.
I mean, it's no secret, like these Gen Z kids and Gen Alpha, like they won't get on the phone and make a dentist appointment. They're terrified.
I know.
Terrified.
I know.
So like, how do we as the elders, as like village elders here, right? Like, how do we help them use the tech for things that could actually make life more efficient, more effective, more capital resource friendly, to preserve the elements of life that are beautiful and serendipitous and interactive and communicative, right? I mean, I'll credit my husband because it was his thought, not mine. And I just wholeheartedly agreed when he said it. He was talking to somebody recently and, he's a creative guy, does filmmaking, photography, that whole thing.
Yep.
He is having a heyday with Hedra and Heidegger and all the different AI platforms creating stuff.
Yeah.
It's awesome to watch. But he's a creative person using a tool, just like he used a camera, just like he used film, just like whatever, right? But he spent 20 years as a 48-year-old guy. He's 25 years into experience of light and lenses and cameras and going out into the world and, playing and messing about to create things. Yeah. So now the AI removes the kind of friction for him to get to the end result he wants. Yep. But he knows the end result because he's lived it and gone through the process. Yep. We're taking process away from young people. Mm-hmm. And they're not happy about it either. They know it. And it's why I think part of the reason is they're so pissed off about AI, because they know that like experience and process is being taken away from them.
The kids are pissed off about AI?
Yeah.
Tell me more. I'm so far removed from kids.
So there's like a huge movement, I would say, of mostly college age young people who are like against AI. Like, we don't want it. We don't want to use it. We don't want to see it. There's a whole environmental impact conversation, which is valid and needs to be had. But there's this feeling of like, I think they feel like they're being reduced. I feel like they know that they're losing experience and process. I think they're terrified of what it means for them in the job market.
Yeah, and they should.
And so there's been all these like, now you'll go search it up and it'll be in your algorithm. But if you look at all the commencement speeches from last year and this year, all these CEOs and businessmen, businesswomen also, who are coming in to give these commencement speeches are almost like trying to convince these kids to integrate and accept AI. And these kids are like booing them off of Ivy League stages. Way. It's wild. And so for me, I'm like, okay, that's not healthy either. Being afraid of tech.
No, it's like too far. It's a happy medium with everything.
They thought that books were going to like ruin, civilization when we started publishing books in Greek history. They were like, the book is going to ruin everything. So like, this is the tale as old as time. We're scared of the new thing. We're scared of what the impact is. You don't know what the impact is.
Right.
But like, so there's a whole movement of young people.
Interesting.
Yeah. So me, I'm like, fight the fear. This is a tool. This is a thing. How are we going to utilize it? Can we versus should we? Where and how?
Yeah. Yeah. So in human resources, it's human resources. And I've had the incredible opportunity to spend so much time with our team this week, different members, and we're all remote. So like when we get to be together, like IRL, it's amazing. Yeah. And it just reminds me of like, we have these tools, we have these AI tools. And so if you think like back in the day, if you had like a sexual harassment case, right, which takes, and it should, a lot of time and effort should be put into making sure that figure out what happened, make sure that everything, we needed. There's all kinds of steps, but that used to take weeks, right? So you would interview the person, maybe 12 people witnessed or saw or were involved in some way or the other. You're spending at least an hour and a half of interviewing them. We still have to interview them, right? Like humans, But then you take your notes. Now we can use Fireflies or some sort of like recording to take the transcripts. We can dump all of that into AI, and instead of writing reports and doing research for weeks, it's within minutes. Yeah. But we are saying I work with incredible HR professionals where it's like all of that time that we're saving can now be spent with humans, and that can be spent with like interacting and talking and making people feel safe and understanding more.
Yep.
And it really is beautiful. So we can use tech to really enhance our human to human experience.
Agreed.
It's just hard.
It's hard. And the people stuff is messy all around. So now it's just messier. I mean, it's getting more complex.
Yeah.
We talk all the time, one of our other themes is life in a VUCA world. This theme VUCA.
Tell me about this.
Volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous.
Okay.
That this is the space we live in now.
Okay.
And so how you learn and function and behave, you have to lean into those things, which humans don't really like all that much, right?
It's uncomfy.
It's uncomfy. We don't like that.
Yeah.
And so just being able to lean into that more and function well in that space and leverage that space to your advantage is like key. So the more we can help people do that, the better. Yeah.
Being uncomfortable is uncomfortable, but you got to get, you even say it, right? You have to be uncomfortable or you have to be comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Is that it's like live in the fear.
And just say it. I mean, you're in HR, right? Like I've had plenty of conversations as a CEO or a business owner or a people manager to be like, okay, y'all, this is going to get awkward.
Yeah.
As everybody here we go.
Here we go.
Just name it. Admitting it is the first step. We're about to have a hard conversation, an awkward conversation.
Yep.
Here's what we're going to do and not do.
Yeah.
Here's how we're going to manage it.
Yeah. We like to start conversations. It's there's a book called Crucial Conversations and we've taught it with several of our clients. It's very, very cool. But starting a conversation that is going to be awful or awkward, to say hey, are you okay if we have this conversation?
Yeah.
It might get a little tense. We might, but we're going to get through it together.
Right.
It's going to be okay. There's a happy ending here.
Yeah.
It allows people, which is just fair.
Yep.
To let people, hey, this is coming.
Yeah.
Neither one of us want to do this.
Right.
But we're going to get through it together. Whatever the outcome may be. Maybe it's a termination discussion. Maybe it's a performance discussion, but we're going to be okay with this. Excellent. This is so fun. Tell me more about it's Ellysium EDU. Tell me more.
Yeah. So, this idea is not new.
Okay.
Ellis and I, we've said all along, right? Frank and Ellis and I, in order to break into motorsport and have any fighting chance for him to be in this space professionally, we had to take everything we knew how to do well and apply it to this legacy space.
Yeah.
Where most people weren't even thinking about the things we were thinking of. Marketing, brand, strategy, education, technology, all those bits. We were like, we're going to take the stuff we know how to do well, apply it to this space, and that's going to give us our first mover advantage to try to make him successful.
Yep.
So, service and leadership have always been my jam. My husband's the tech guy, the media kind of visionary.
Yeah.
And Ellis, he's 20 years old, right? So he's coming into his own, race car driver supreme, but also kind of hacker, thinker. He loves gaming. He loves economics. So watching him kind of come into his own as well. So the education bit has always been there. I built and designed the middle school he was a part of when he was in Hoboken, New Jersey. And then we tried for a long time when we were living in Europe, we tried to start these different pilots or programs, but we were traveling through Europe. Wasn't everybody's first language. You're dealing with different.
Sure.
It was it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So when we decided to come back to the United States at the end of 24, it was like, okay, it is time to press the button on the education part. And for me, that's my passion and interest. So I'm like, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Frank and I built Films by Francesco for 25 years, which was his media business production. Yes, I was creative and a part of that, but I built his thing.
Yeah.
Then with Ellis, we started to build Ellysium Racing, which is Ellis's thing.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
Your turn.
My turn.
Yeah.
Let's go. So originally we thought we would do these educational festivals almost alongside each of Ellis's race weekends.
Okay.
Then the whole championship got canceled. And so that kind of
out the door,
out the window.
Yeah.
2025 for us was a kind of figure ourselves out, get our feet under us kind of year.
Yeah.
And coming into 26, I was like, all right, this is it. The EDU is the thing. This is where we're going to focus our energy.
Yep.
We're going to build a business and a brand that's going to be hugely profitable, be able to fund our motorsport adventures.
Yeah.
And in the really long term, hopefully have a foundation element that's going to change the game for other racing drivers.
Yeah.
Because as we've talked about, racing drivers have to pay their own way. talent does not lead the way. We want to upend that model. So here we are.
You did it.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
Yeah.
We now have a number of pilots in place. So we're teaching in-person workshops.
Very cool.
Yeah. I'm working 1 day a week at a micro school here in Austin with 3 to 6 year olds, which is not my.
Okay.
Like I said, middle schoolers are like toddlers in many ways, but also
toddlers are toddlers.
Toddlers are toddlers. So, I mean, I'm working with kids from K through 12 right now. In-person workshops with Ellis that he's helped co-design around motorsport. We're doing live virtual events. So we're building RC cars with kids all over the country.
Very cool.
Virtually, which is fun. And we're creating a fully licensed content platform where schools, organizations, communities, homeschoolers can watch what Ellis does and learn from him. RC cars, these mini Z cars, all the way up through a program we're creating for electric go-karts.
Cool.
And ultimately real life race cars.
I love that.
We're talking to the Del Valley School District right now.
Amazing.
Yes. And the Education Foundation as part of like larger workforce development programs.
Yeah.
So like it's taken off in leaps and bounds. I kind of knew it would. It was like the thing that was in there.
Yeah.
My family always joked like, we're really going to make it when mom writes her book. And so I feel like that's the era we're in at the moment. Like, okay, the education is the thing, right time, right place. Ellis is my like Ryan Reynolds of the Mint Mobile. Like, and he's not just the face, like he co-facilitates, co-creates all of this along with me.
Amazing.
And then my husband's there with the camera rolling the whole time and doing all the media and building the websites and building the digital content platform. So like, as always, we work as a mighty machine.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of interest and things are moving fast.
Very
I'm excited for that.
It's so cool to give kids like an avenue to learn that they may not have had before. Like, it's so cool. Steve has a goddaughter who was like kind of mainstream school for a while. And then they put her into a Montessori school that went through like 12th grade, which I think is pretty rare.
It's exceptionally rare.
Right. And so, and she just like blossomed. And when she would talk about it, she would light up. It was so cool about like, they were learning like, Stephen, correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be wrong here, but how I'm remembering is like, she was learning geometry by working in the bike shop.
Yeah.
And like, and so for these kids,
we just talked about practical application, right? Like they're like not
the logic behind.
Yes. And that the kids are not coming out of college knowing how to do the things they need to do.
Yeah.
So this is it, right? And not everybody's going to become a race car driver. That's not the point at all.
Right.
But the skills and abilities and mindsets behind the work that we're doing doesn't matter. You're going to be a ballerina or a welder or a software engineer or an HR professional. Like these are the skills you need.
Right.
Yeah. And you can apply them anywhere you go.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So you're managing the universe, which is what we started talking about.
Yes.
Just to like finish with that, you're managing the company that y'all have, the mini that you have built, kind of the roadway up to now. And then this EDU journey that you're on. Like, I guess just to wrap it, like, how do you manage all of it?
Lots of coffee from our lovely Easton Park local coffee shop.
What's your drink? What's your coffee order?
I am like your drip coffee splash a whole milk girl.
Okay.
Every once in a while I get fancy in the afternoons and go for the iced, what is it? The Oya.
Ooh, the Cafe
Oya de Oya. Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah. So
Sneezo's where it's at.
Yeah. So
it's so good.
Lots of coffee. I'm a creatine, theanine, and collagen addict.
Okay.
Like that's in the water every day. I can't tell if it's actually doing anything, but there's some type of, I'm like, yeah,
you're glowing.
That's doing the thing.
Yeah.
I work out like a maniac.
Okay.
I'm addicted to the gym, which for me happens before dawn.
Okay.
So that's like kind of my own saving grace things, but it's messy.
Yeah.
It's messy. I go through periods where like I'm the girl up at 3 a.m, like with obsessive, dreadful thoughts.
Yeah.
I said to you before we started rolling, like 2026 has been brutal.
Yeah.
Like the first half of this year, up was down, left was right. You're seeing me today, like literally, and I'm like a little woo-woo zodiac tarot card.
Love it.
I'm like, oh, the stars are aligning and now we're moving into something new. Like the first half of this year was utterly brutal. And we didn't know what to do or where to go except to have to commit to the new thing.
Yeah.
So we are.
Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah. So
it's I mean, for most of our listeners are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And I think that, Steve and I were joking this morning where we have our whole team coming in for a summit. There's like 23, there will be 25 of us by the time this happens, which is crazy because it started with just me and Steve, you know, and like to watch the build is so very cool. But, there's a picture of me back in some point, I guess September of 2028 of like holding this like cheap, clear folder cover with like this, printout of like this to this to the, like a circle of like what Moss Consulting was. And someone had said, you got lucky with this or whatever. And we're like,
no.
Until for 6 years, it was blood, sweat, debt, tears.
Yes.
Stress, waking up at 3 a.m. and being like, oh my God, how is this going to work? How are we going to pay payroll? Yeah. All of these things. But the only way to get through it is to get through it. Yeah. And it's
the only way out is through.
Yeah. The only way out is through. One of Steve's best friends one time told us, and I think about this all the time. He was like, his buddy out near Telluride, he was like, time will drag you through it. And I think about that so often because it's like as bad as it could be, like time will drag you through it. But you gotta, and I think too, you gotta lean into the people that you trust and love. Yes. Get through the hard part. And it does usually
it has to. This too shall pass, right? Yeah. So if it's awesome, hold on to it while you can because this too shall pass. And if you are 100% in the shit, hold on because, so it's like all these little sayings, right? Time is a slinky is one of my favorites of like how time stretches out and compresses. The iceberg theory is what you just described of like people see this little bit of things going exceptionally well for you. And you're like, there's a decade of stuff that had to happen for me to get up here.
Yeah. Pain.
Pain.
Just like dread, pain, stress, all the things.
And then, I mean, I say it, my like total life mantra, life is good, life is hard. These two truths are unrelated. Like holding both of those things simultaneously.
Yeah. I love it. So, well, on that note, Michelle, thank you so much for being here. It's like exactly the conversation that I knew we were going to have. It's very cool. Because what you're describing is what every business owner, like it's what everyone needs to hear. It's hard. Creating systems, it's not a luxury. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of years, a lot of dedication. And they're what protect your people and your sanity and all of those things. And you're excellent at it. So thank you very much for joining us on this edition of the Moss HR Minute.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks.
It's fast, it's fun, it's the Moss Minute.